Then I come to Bombay under the guidance of Gopal Krishna Goswami. I've been engaged. In 1984, I took sannyas by Bhakti Swarup Damodar Swami. He was a GBC and a guru for different centers in India. I was in Padayatra also for 3 months. Dwaraka to Pune, early days. My first overseas to Mauritius, 1994. Since that onwards, America, Europe, all other places, South Africa, I was traveling and teaching. 2018, I was here, but now because of the COVID, I could not come. I thought of this year to come. So I came here in the month of July to New York, LA, San Francisco. I was there for 1 or 2 months there. I'm preaching in the temple and devotees outdoors also. From Seattle, I came, was there 3-4 days. It was nice view. I read about the class, other house program. We had this time. Now I came here. So thank you, all of you. So we'll speak a little bit on science of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is a science. Right? Actually, you can see everywhere Prabhupada talks about it is science. Science means reality, not just the theory. Anyway, we have a lot of, books, right? So much Prabhupada giving us enlightenment and knowledge. So I'll start Jai Radha Madhava, then we will speak whatever Krishna inspires us. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Punyavadi Pasyata Deshatarini Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Vyadvaita Gadadhar Vivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevalavasati Satma Avadana Mate Om Vishnupada Paramahimsa Paribraja Kachara Stotra Sri Srimati Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Vishnu Pada Pramam Sitari Brajaka Saraswata Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nanta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namachar Haridas Thakur की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोकुल गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। मथुरा धाम की जय। मायापुर नवरी धाम की जय। गंगा यमुना माय की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी की जय। अवेत भक्तवृंद की जय। काय गौर प्रेमानंद। Glory to the somebody. All glories to the somebody. All glories to the somebody. Glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. We have a book of Nectar of Devotion.
Krishna Krishna. Nectar of Devotion.
In Nectar of Devotion, in the introduction to this book, Prabhupada explaining that those who are cultivating spiritual life, executing devotional service, are always engaged in activity. Such activity can be performed with the body or with the mind, thinking, feeling, willing, for all activities of the mind. And when we will to do something, the activity comes to be manifest by the gross bodily senses. Thus, in our mental activities, we should always try to think of Krishna and try to plan how to please him. Following in the footsteps of the great acharyas and personal spiritual master. There are activities of the body, activities of the mind, activities of the speech. A Krishna conscious person engages words in preaching the glories of the Lord. That is called Kirtana. By his mind, a Krishna conscious person always thinks of the activities of the Lord as he is speaking on the battlefield of Kurukshetra or engaged in his various pastimes of Vrindavanam, which is devotee. In this way, one can always think of the activities and the pastimes of the Lord. This is the mental culture of Krishna consciousness. Similarly, we can offer many services with our bodily activities, but all such activities must be in relation with Krishna. This relationship is established by connecting oneself with the bona fide spiritual master, who is the direct representative of Krishna in disciplic succession. Therefore, The execution of Krishna conscious activities with the body should be directed by the spiritual master, then performed with faith. The connection with the spiritual master is called initiation. From the date of initiation by the spiritual master, the connection between Krishna and the person cultivating Krishna consciousness established. Without initiation by a bona fide spiritual master, the actual connection with the Krishna consciousness never performed. This cultivation of Krishna consciousness is not material. The Lord has three general energies, namely external energy, the internal energy, and the marginal energy. So here actually, Prabhupada explains about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Brahmanda Brahmiti Brahmiti Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Latadi. I found here book. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Lord Chaitanya states that it is a fortunate person who comes in contact with the bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna, one who is serious about spiritual life, given by Krishna the intelligence to come and contact with the bona fide spiritual master. By the grace of the spiritual master, one becomes advanced in Krishna consciousness. In this way, the whole jurisdiction of Krishna consciousness directly under the spiritual energy, Krishna and the spiritual master. This is the main point. I thought of that is a first I chanted now Guru Puja. Here Prabhupada explaining that how important Krishna and the spiritual master. That is the very, very important. Further, he said this has nothing to do with the material world. In this way, whole jurisdiction of Krishna are directly under the spiritual energy, Krishna and spiritual master. That is the main point. Brahmanda Brahmite Brahmite Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Latadi. Just now I read it. Prabhupada explaining that without taking shelter of the bona fide spiritual master, the Krishna consciousness really, we don't have any connection with the Krishna. Only when we are taken shelter of the Guru, then there is a connection with the Krishna. Prabhupada writing. This is a very, very important. Connection with the spiritual master is called initiation, Prabhupada says. Morning also I was speaking with all my realization. Whenever we see the disciple, not we only see disciple, he has a spiritual master. He has a connection with the spiritual master. Usually, when we see the person, we only see, we have to see the connection. That is very, very important. Otherwise, we become very offensive, not knowing, what is he, what is, how, who is his guru, and you don't understand. So what I'm trying to say that this is very important. Whenever we see the disciple, we have to remember the spiritual master. Your connection with the spiritual master. So that is very, very important. I think I was talking about science, right? This is a very nice book, The Science of Self-Realization. There are a lot of topics are discussed. I was referring, example, just I said that here, Prabhupada speaking to Kotaske, Russian, professor. Spiritual communism. There, Prabhupada having discussion with the Kotaske. Srila Prabhupada says, Hinduism very complex topic. Prabhupada telling. Professor Kotaske. Oh yes, they laugh. Really, to my understanding, it is not a religion from the European point of view. It is the way of life, religion and philosophy, a way of life, whatever you want. I'm just giving an example about this. So it is a science in itself. Now, like in this book itself, there was a lot of discussion with this scientist, like my sannyasi guru, is current name is Dr. T.D. Singh, right? Title is called The Tiny World of Modern Science. Nice, devotee. Papa said when we become devotee is not in ignorance. He has a full understanding of knowledge and renunciation. Anyway, so here we see very interesting. During morning walk in April 1973 at Venice Beach, Los Angeles, Srila Prabhupada discussed modern science and its high priests. They claim to have millions of dollars worth of knowledge. But if you ask them a question, they simply give you a post-dated check. Why should we accept it? They cannot even produce a sphere of glass through their biological and chemical experiment. Nonetheless, they are claiming that the creation is produced by some chemical biological method. Why does no one question all this nonsense? Prabhupada. Very interesting. See, now Prabhupada speaking. The whole world of science, technology is ruination on the false idea that life is born from matter. Very important, proper speaking. We cannot allow this nonsensical theory to go unchallenged. Life does not come from matter. Matter is generated from light. The great science. This is not a theory, it is a fact. Science is based on an incorrect theory. Therefore, all its calculations and conclusions are wrong. People are suffering because of this. When all these mistaken modern scientific theories are corrected, people will become happy. So we must challenge the scientists and defeat them. Otherwise, they will mislead the entire society. This is very, very important. Now, Dr. Singh is telling to Prabhupada, since scientists cannot see the spiritual soul, they say its existence is very doubtful. Prabhupada saying, how can they see it? It is too small to see. Where is such a seeing power? Prabhupada saying, Dr. Singh, still they want to sense it by some means. Srila Prabhupada, if you inject just one grain of deadly poison into someone, immediately dies. No one can see the poison or how it acts, but the poison is acting nevertheless. In the same way, the Veda says that because the minute particle called the soul is within the body, the whole body is working nicely. That is, book is called Science of Self-Realization. It's very, very important. Whole Bhagavad Gita also teaching about this, right? Further, Prabhupada says, if I pinch myself, I immediately feel it because I am conscious all over my skin. But as soon as the soul is absent, which is the case when my body dies, you can take the same skin and cut it, drop it, chop it, so no one will protest. Why this simple thing so hard to understand? It is not that detecting spirit. Now, Dr. Singh is telling that is the soul. But what about God? Bhakti Sarvadhamana are asking to Prabhupada, what about God? Srila Prabhupada said, first of all, let us understand the soul. The soul is the small God. If you understand the sample, then you can understand the whole. Anyway, so this is a wonderful, Krishna consciousness is full of, in every angle, Prabhupada says, religion, philosophy, politics, everything is there in Krishna consciousness. Uh, I would like to have Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita also teaching me about the same science of the soul. Uh, That is when Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Manusyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatate siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschit mam veti tattvataha. Uh, This is the seventh chapter of Bhagavad Gita, text 3. Krishna says, you please all repeat after me. Out of many thousands among men,
Out of many thousands of men,
one may endeavor
one is
for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So this is the point. Like Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 2, Krishna says, Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitra Nidamuttamam Pratyaksha Vagamam Dharmam Sukam Kartum Abhyayam. That's a very interesting sloka. Text 2, 9th chapter. The most confidential knowledge. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secret. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion, it is everlasting, it is joyfully performed. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about, this knowledge is the purest form of activities. Generally, people are not educated in this confidential knowledge. They are educated in external knowledge. As far as ordinary education is concerned, people are involved with so many departments: politics, sociology, physics, chemistry, mathematics, astronomy, engineering, etc. There are many departments of knowledge all over the world and many huge universities, but there is unfortunately no university or educational institution where the science of the soul is instructed. So this is a very, very important. Yet the soul is the most important part of the body. Without the presence of the soul, the body has no value. Still, people are placing great stress on the bodily necessities of life, not caring for the vital soul. So, the devotee should know this. That is a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Jare tako tare ko Krishna Upadesh. Wherever you go, whoever you see, just speak on Bhagavad Gita. We need not to tax our brain what to speak. Everything is in Bhagavad Gita, right? We have to just speak. Whatever Bhagavad Gita teaching, there are so many topics. For example, in second chapter, when Dhritarashtra asked Sanjay, Dharma Kshetri Kurukshetri Samaveta Yutsava. Then in the second chapter it says, Tam tata krupaya vishtam asrupurna kulekshanam vishidantam idam vakyam uvacha madhusudana. Sanjay said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna, spoke the following words. Purport. Material compassion, lamentation, and tears are all sign of ignorance of the real self. It is very, very important. We should always try. Prabhupada's teaching about this. We should always try to know what is matter, what is spiritual. So here, lamentation, tears, these are all sign of ignorance of the self. You know, it's very practical, Bhagavad Gita. Now also you can see people are taking birth, changing the body, die. It's going on since time immemorial. But nobody knows what happens after death. Anybody knows? Nobody knows. Huh? Everybody knows. You know, like recently I come to know my sister husband passed away because of the cancer, he had the treatment. Died, finished. And nobody thinks, you know, what happened? Am I right? I'm telling this is Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada said. Discussing on the science of the soul is Krishna consciousness. Am I right or wrong? Krishna himself speaking about the soul. In one sense, Krishna is everything. So this is very, very important. Last, I would like to say that hearing is also very, very important. Hearing and speaking. In Nectar Devotion, talks about hearing, right? 10th chapter. Technique of hearing and remembering. Okay. Chapter 10. Technique of hearing and remembering. Hearing. The beginning of Krishna consciousness, devotional service, is hearing. In Sanskrit, it's called Sravanam. All people should be given a chance to come join devotional parties so that they may hear. This hearing is very important for progressing in Krishna consciousness. Without hearing, we cannot progress in Krishna consciousness. How important is hearing? About Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all Vedic literature, talking about Krishna, right? When one links his ears to give oral reception to the transcendental vibration, he can quickly become purified and cleansed with the heart. Lord Chaitanya has affirmed that this hearing is very important. So please, like in Bhagavad Gita, in introduction, Prabhupada says, modern science, they tried to go to moon planet, modern science, but they are not educated in spiritual life. When we become 50 years, Prabhupada said, we have to remember Krishna. What is it? How to remember Krishna? The process of remembering Krishna, hearing, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So the Bhagavad Gita, in the introduction, Prabhupada writes, modern man struggle very hard to reach the moon, but he has not tried very hard to elevate himself spiritually. If one has 50 years of life ahead of him, he should engage that brief time cultivating the practice of remembering the Supreme Personality of God. This practice is devotional process. Sravanam Kirtanam. These 9 process, of which easiest is Sravanam, hearing Bhagavad Gita from a realized person will turn one to the thought of the Supreme Being. So hearing is very, very important. Example, like a Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Arjuna heard it. Srimad Bhagavatam spoke by Sukadeva Goswami, Parishma heard it. Only by hearing one become enlightened in spiritual life. 7th chapter, 1st sloka. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yunjamadasrayaha Asamsaya Samagramma Yatadna Sasita Srunu. It's a very nice sloka. What Krishna says, Sri Bhagavan Vacha. That means the Supreme Personality of Godhead said. So please repeat after me. Please repeat after me. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said.
The Supreme Personality of God has said,
Now hear,
now here,
O Sanna Puta, how by practicing yoga
how by practicing yoga,
in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. Krishna is telling you, hear from me. The 13th chapter of text 26 also talks about hearing. In the 9th chapter also, Prabhupada said that Krishna telling to Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be delivered, relieved from the miseries of material existence. Now the purpose of the Prabhupada says, as a devotee hears more and more about the Supreme Lord, he becomes enlightened. What is this program we are doing? I am speaking, you are hearing. About what? about Krishna. Am I right or wrong? See, you please repeat after me. As a devotee hears more and more about the Supreme Lord,
As a devotee hears more and more about Supreme Lord,
he becomes enlightened.
he becomes enlightened.
This hearing process
Next process,
recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam. The message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead
message of the Supreme Personality of God
are full of potencies,
are full of potential,
and these potencies can be realized
and these potencies can be
if
realized
topics regarding the Supreme Personality of Godhead
if topics regarding the Supreme Personality of Godhead
are discussed
are discussed
among the devotees. Especially in the West, you see, you're all devotees, right? Most of them, right? Most of the temples. So proper stuff. For the devotee. This cannot be achieved by the association of mental speculators, academic scholars. It is realized knowledge. See the every how important every sentence is so important. What Prabhupada is telling, it cannot be discussed among the speculators, scholars, whatever, over. Yeah, they cannot understand because this is the realized knowledge. So much is there. I would like to stop and you can have a nice interact. Any question, mostly when we are discussing these things, you can also ask any question about this. I try to explain.
Yes. How can we hear like Maharaj Parikshit?
But
How can we hear like Maharaj Parikshit or Arjun?
our devotee is asking, how
Can we hear like Maharaj Parikshit or Arjuna?
how can we hear like the Maharaj Parikshit and Arjuna? Where you heard that you have to hear like Arjuna and Parikshit Maharaj?
Sir, attentively, we have to hear.
Of course, Prabhupada says that in Bhagavad Gita introduction that nobody can understand Krishna. Even the demigods cannot understand Krishna. Only when you become a devotee, then you understand Krishna. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Krishna aimed at Arjuna, right? Speaking Bhagavad Gita, for the benefit of the whole world. Right? Krishna aimed at Arjuna. Krishna Laksha Kare, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Arjuna is a pure devotee, he knows everything, but still he was putting into illusion, ignorance by Lord. So he can ask all questions. Right? He was in dilemma, you know. He was in the middle of battlefield to fight. Then after coming there, he doesn't want to fight. So this is the point. Then he surrendered to Krishna, asking that Lord, Karpanya dosho pasasvabhava uchamita dharma sangha. So unless we become inquisitive to know, disciples should be always inquisitive, Prabhupada says. You can see in life of Prabhupada and disciples, how many questions, whatever morning walk, conversation, they're all full of questions devotees are asking. So So we have to become very inquisitive. Like Arjuna and Parikshita, they are all very inquisitive to know about Krishna. So Krishna gives intelligence to hear attentively, like Arjuna and Parikshita. Okay. Other question here?
Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful class. My question is, you quoted from the 7th chapter, verse 3, Manushyanam Sahasreshu, out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. So, what perfection is Lord Krishna talking about? Because in my mind, perfection was to become a devotee of Krishna, pure devotee of
We have another mic, you should get, okay, yeah.
So, what does that word perfection mean in that context?
First thing you should know, we cannot understand the direct words of Krishna. That is the first we should know. Now you are referring. We cannot understand. Let us see what Prabhupada writes. Okay? You get answer to that question, your question. Okay, everybody pay attention. There are various grades of men. Out of many thousands, one may be sufficiently interested in transcendental realization to try to know what is self. What is self? What is body? And what is the absolute truth? Generally, mankind is simply engaged in animal propensity, namely eating, sleeping, defending, and mating. And hardly anyone interested in transcendental knowledge. You understand? Is it okay for your Prabhupada?
My question is,
No, the Prabhupada explaining. You have to go further. Someone.
yes, so Prabhupada talks about what is the absolute truth, which
What? Yeah.
is Krishna. So Krishna says those who have achieved perfection.
Now that's what I'm trying to say here. Now let us see. Now you don't understand first. I just read it now. Okay, next we want to know more. The first 6 chapters of Gita are meant for those who are interested in transcendental knowledge. That is the perfection. In understanding the self, super self, and the process of realizing by Jnana Yoga. You got the point? So that further you can read. It is there. What I'm trying to say. Guru is explaining the meaning of this sloka. You cannot directly understand the sloka. Right? So, any other question? Mata, yeah. What else? What do you think?
Going back to what you said just now, that they reach perfection beyond yoga.
Hmm.
So in Bhagavad Gita, we talk about 4 ways of reaching Krishna.
Huh?
In Bhagavad Gita, we talk about various ways through which we can reach Krishna. Jnana Yoga is also one of them.
Right.
So as long as we connect with the Lord, I mean, it's a bona fide way of reaching the Lord. So why that's not, as it said, that out of perfection, perfect people, there's only one who actually knows him. So it's kind of indicating towards devotional services that till you don't go for devotional services, you would not know Krishna in reality. You may know superficially through Dhyan, but not in real sense. Is that what it's referring to?
Huh?
Is that what it's referring to?
Right? Ultimately, you understand Krishna. Without understanding Krishna, everything is useless. Because Krishna is the absolute truth. Any other question?
Thank you, Maharaj, for being here and giving us your association. You quoted verse 7:1.
Right.
7:1. Krishna is talking about the mind attached to me. So how do we attach the mind to Krishna rather than the objects of the senses? Could you elaborate on that, please?
See, Krishna said, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyadi mam namaskuru mame vaishati yuktaiva atmana matparayanaha. 9th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Text 34. Right? So wonderful slokas. Please, everybody repeat after me. Engage your mind, always thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obedience to me. Worship me. Being completely absorbed in me. Surely you will come to me. 18th chapter Bhagavad Gita also similar shloka, right? 65. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your homage unto me. Thus, you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. What do you want to know?
We may engage in the process, but still the mind is attached to the sense object. The mind is still attached to sense object.
Every practice abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasananyagana. By practice, in Upadeshamrita Vacho Vegam Manasa, Prabhupada said you have to keep your mind in practice. Yoga is that is meant for that. The Bhakti Yoga also same thing. The great devotee says, Bhajavure Manasvinandan Abhaya Charana Ravindan. He's telling to the my dear mind, of course there are liberated souls who have composed these prayers for us like conditioned souls, teaching us. He said, my dear mind, please worship divine son of Nandamara. This human form is very rare. Durlabhama navajanamasa taraha ebhava sundara. This human life is very rare. You should always associate with the devotees of the Lord, Sadhu Sangha. Then we can cross over. So mind is like that, It's a practice. That is why we have Bhakti Yoga. Like a morning we do japa. What is that japa? Same thing. Mind goes here and then we concentrate on chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Purifying. Okay. Question?
Thank you so much for that. Very class and giving us your association.
I have a question from the verse you quoted from Chaitanya Charitamrita, where he said, whoever you meet, is
Right.
example of
Got it, that's
Krishna. So for new people, those who don't have, let's say, faith in Krishna, how do we present Krishna consciousness without disturbing? Because this verse says that whoever you see start talking about Krishna. So how do
Also, Krishna's Chaitanya says, Janma Sartha Karo Paropata. You understand? Krishna Chaitanya says, first make your life success. Everything related. Example, let us see Prabhupada, what he did. He came here in the West, is completely surrendered to Krishna. Krishna gave so much. This is the way, preaching also same thing. Apne acharya sikhay sarva. Chaitanya said, first you learn, you become Krishna conscious. First you. Isn't that? Leader means Prabhupada says, if a leader is smoking and he tells to others, don't smoke, who will listen? So preaching also, you follow first. Krishna Shakti Vina Nai Tara Pravartana. That is why we need a guru. For this only. Learn from the guru. Sadhu, Shastra, we have to learn this. And Krishna says, I give intelligence to you how to preach. See how proper prayers. See, these questions are wonderful. So much we can always remember these things. See how proper prayer to Lord Krishna when he comes to Boston. There are two prayers. Second one I would like to read. My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. But I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why should you bring to me to this terrible place? Most of the population here is covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion. In this way, Prabhupada completely surrendered to Krishna. Without surrendering, like Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita when Arjuna surrendered. The question of surrender. You understand? Everybody can ask question, right? In Telugu it says, Adage that ammaina more better. That means unless you ask your mother to give feed, mother will not feed you. But we have to, know we should to know more about Krishna, inquisitive. How much is there? Okay, we'll stop here. Sachidananda is okay, time. Bolo Mahapatita Pamsila Prabhupada ki
Jai. Jai. Very happy.
So Krishna to speak about next steps. But for tomorrow, there's a Sunday Peace program at 11. That's okay.